Fred VanVleet is the NBA's only player shooting over 40% from three on at least 8 attempts per game this season. He's the engine of Toronto's offense, firing at will by slamming the brakes to pull up from three in transition. And in the half court, if defenses give him any space to launch, he will. Much like his point guard predecessor Kyle Lowry, VanVleet loves going to his left in the pick and roll. Defenses are asking to get scored on by playing drop coverage like the Clippers cluelessly do here before he takes the wide open three. But even if two defenders fly out on him, he's still capable of sinking shots. And since the middle of December, VanVleet has had a Steph-like usage by taking an absurd 13 3-point shots per game while making 45% of them. He's taking them from deep with increasing regularity, which is straining opponents to come out and defend him. And it's not far off his career average of 40.5%. He's just shooting more threes, and it's turning into absolutely bonkers numbers. To put VanVleet's production into perspective, let's look at player shots per game and the amount of times they touch the ball per game. VanVleet for the full season logged 17 shots and 85 touches per game, which is right around guys like LaMelo Ball and De'Aaron Fox. But over this stretch since mid-December, he has 22 shots and 94 touches, which is right up around the likes of Harden and Luka. The Raptors are leaning into VanVleet like he's a megastar. Since December 14th, VanVleet has 30.6 points, 7.6 assists, and 4.9 rebound averages. All season, he's still averaging 22, 7, and 5 while playing tone-setting defense. The Raptors outscore opponents by 5.6 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor because he's a nuisance on defense, capable of getting in the passing lanes off ball and bothering opponents on the ball. And of course, he's a shot maker on offense, and VanVleet doesn't just drain threes. The Raptors love using him in handoff and screen actions to get him into mid-range jumpers, especially with Scotty Barnes or Pascal Siakam handing it off, since they can also create off the dribble. VanVleet isn't overly reliant on jumpers though, since he can get all the way to the rim. He's shooting 57% in the restricted area, up from 51% in all prior seasons according to Cleaning the Glass. That's a strong number for a 6'1" guard. He's improved over the years at absorbing contact and hitting circus layups. He packages a tight handle with ambidextrous finishing to score on length inside. And with his ability to get into the paint and score using layups, floaters, and runners, he also has the option to be a distributor. VanVleet is putting up big numbers, and he's still doing the other stuff, logging nearly 7 assists to just 2.7 turnovers per game. As an interior passer, he has a great feel for getting defenders out of position before dishing the ball to a cutting teammate. And he's one of the NBA's best at drive and kicks. Here against the Knicks, they help inside, and Evan Fournier's responsibility is to defend both Scotty Barnes in the corner and Gary Trent Jr. on the wing. VanVleet drives and sees Fournier lean towards the corner, so he instead fires it to Trent. The ability to read the defense in the pick and roll is a skill that he has continued to enhance as he's developed year by year. Even without a screen like here against Lou Dort, he has the patience to hold his dribble and the skill to fire a lefty fastball. Or he can circle the wagons like Steve Nash by dribbling underneath the rim. And again, this pass is only possible because he's equally skilled with his right and left hand passes. VanVleet has long been a player who makes his teammates better as a playmaker, who's always been a gritty defender, who's always been a clutch shooter. Now he's emerging as a guy who can carry an offense. That's why Raptors fans are in the right to call him Freddie All-Star. But will VanVleet make his first All-Star team? There are only 4 guaranteed spots for guards in each conference, and up to 6 total due to the 2 wildcard positions. In the East, DeMar DeRozan is a lock as a starter since he's listed as a guard instead of as a front court player. Trae Young and Zach LaVine are also locks, and that's 3 guys there. So then, in addition to VanVleet, candidates listed as guards include Drew Holiday, LaMelo Ball, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Bradley Beal. That's 5 names for up to 3 more spots. And so this might just come down to whether coaches put him in as a reserve. But I'd argue he's arguably worth a starting spot next to DeRozan. Trae doesn't play a lick of defense. Harden has underwhelmed. Brown has been good, but not as good as VanVleet. LaVine's a deserving starter, and so is Holiday. But VanVleet's playmaking load and defense, that's what could give him an edge when ballots are due on January 22nd as a starter. And I won't make my final decision on my official ballot until that morning, especially when it's so close right now and there are still more games to be played. But right now, I would lean DeRozan and VanVleet as my starters. I bet he ends up as a reserve, though, so we'll see what coaches do. The only knock voters might have right now against VanVleet is team performance, but not lately. The Raptors have turned their season around ever since they got a full, healthy roster in late December, so there are still questions about them, though. They're playing in an empty home arena against depleted teams traveling across the border. Toronto has an advantage. They have an advantage at home. They just do. It's undeniable because American teams aren't sending full rosters to Canada. Teams don't want to risk a key player testing positive across the border. With that said, the Raptors have a bunch of road games coming up, and we're about to find out who they really are. And I think Toronto has a lot of good things going for them still, and I'm a believer in this team. I was a believer before the season, and I'm still a believer now in what they can be, because with the Raptors, they have a lot of good things going. This is the first time all season long that they've been healthy or have had all their players out of COVID protocols. We already got into what VanVleet's done with his increased usage and his sustained production, but now with the amount of length and versatility they have, it's honestly just kind of crazy. They play all 6'8" guys on the court. Siakam is back to being Siakam, except he's even better. They're using him more of like a point forward, and the synergy that he has with VanVleet doing stuff off the ball is just ridiculous. Scotty Barnes belongs in the top 3 of all Rookie of the Year ballots. I just love what the Raptors got going on, and at some point soon, we're going to publish another Raptors video that will include some of my conversation with William Liu and Blake Murphy from Sportsnet. You can check out that full conversation now by finding the link in the description below, but look out for that sometime down the line, because with the Raptors, it's just fascinating. They deserve another video. It's fascinating how they're tapping into these extremes of basketball athleticism with a little guy in VanVleet, and then all of their eyes and length on the rest of the roster. And this upcoming schedule for the Raptors is going to be a true test for this team, and it could serve to solidify VanVleet's place as an all-star. I'm betting VanVleet makes it. He deserves it based off of his production. He's trending up. The Raptors are turning into a good story. Those ingredients are all going to work in his favor for different types of voters. And if it comes down to coaches making that decision, I'd be shocked if he's not picked. But what do you think? Would you put VanVleet on your all-star team? And if so, would he be a starter? He's playing the best basketball of his career as of late, and he's missed only 3 games. He does it night in, night out. Raptors fans are right. VanVleet should be known as Freddie All-Star. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of The Void. Please subscribe to The Ringer, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with someone who you think might like it. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a fun day.